Yo, have you got up in the Eat Off Rum book yet?
Oh, it has me captivated.
The Teacher by Frida, the subject matter is intense. It's the release of the new Kennedy Ryan book. Oh my God, listen. I'm not even 100 pages in. I'm going to cut up. Brunch and books, love that.
I didn't like him from the beginning.
When I say I feel entirely seen, I feel entirely seen. It's going to leave a lasting impact. Serving and eating. Hello everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that you guys are doing well. Let me tell you, Frida is cutting up in this book. We are going to be reading a total of 4 books in today's video. It will be a week in the life, so you guys will just come along with me. We'll read some books, we'll have some fun. I had no idea that Frida was even coming out with The Teacher. I was just in the store and I just happened to see that she came out with a new book. I got home, immediately looked the book up, and it was free on Kindle Unlimited. So I went ahead, I downloaded the book. I started it yesterday and I am 200 pages in. I finally set up my Libby account and they ended up having the audiobook available. Stop playing with me. So I am actually doing the Kindle and the audio version, which was perfect timing. I am actually getting ready to take Tristan back to school. Because her school is not all that close, listening to the audiobook is going to give me something to do. This book is crazy. It's basically about like a husband and wife who've fallen in like this mundane routine for their relationship. They both work at the same school. One is an English teacher and then the other is a math teacher. Our other main character is her name Addie? Yes, her name is Adeline. I don't know what happened with her and another teacher. She said nothing happened, but I guess the school and other people felt like something happened. They were just being pretty weird around each other. So now she's just looked at as that student who had that thing going on with the teacher. That is more than enough information for you to know going into this book. It is better to just go in blind because it's a blast. I'm having such a great time so far, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna finish the book tonight. So really quickly, I'm going to tell you guys the other books that we will be reading in the video. Our second book we will read is A Woman Is No Man, and it is by Etoff Rum. So I did start reading this book first, and I made it all the way to like 200 pages in, but I wanted to go ahead and put this down when the audiobook of The Teacher became available because I can listen to that one on the go. But this book is fantastic. I cannot wait for us to dive into this and talk more about this. The other book we will be reading is The Overnight Guest. I have no idea what this was about. It says a woman receives an unexpected visitor during a deadly snowstorm in this chilling thriller. It's a buddy read and I have to get to page 100 by Thursday so that I can talk to my friend about it. We're actually going to meet up, which you guys will see in the video. So I'm excited for that. And our fourth book, oh my God, I get to go and buy it Tuesday. I did have it already pre-ordered, but I canceled the order. With the pre-order, I have to wait for it to come in the mail. I want to get it that day, and it is This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. I'm just gonna go buy it so that we can read it or at least start it in this video.
Gotta love audiobooks.
Don't try to scoot there. She wants to show me how she redecorated her room. She has all these pictures of herself. Do you love yourself or what?
Yes, everybody come in and take a picture. Let me show you of this one right here.
Oh.
Or they come in and take a picture of this one.
Oh my
You take this.
Okay, so I have made it to chapter 68, which is page 321. It's about a 2-hour drive to take Tristan back to school. On the way there, we were just like talking and listening to music. But anyway, on my way home, I was able to listen to the audiobook and things got crazy. Frida loves to write about characters that are unwell. She likes to write about characters that are narcissistic, psychopaths, and these people are crazy. But what I'm loving about this book so far, it feels different. I am a big fan of Frida McFadden, her books and her writing style. Her older work, I'm not in love with. Like, it is good, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like I'm being gaslit, or I don't know. It's just, when I'm reading a mystery thriller, I don't need the plot twist to come from left field or just to be so unrealistic for the purpose of entertainment. It's like, it's okay for you to let us know what's gonna happen and then take us on that ride ride, take us on a journey. The writing style and the plot and the characters, everything is written in a way where at this point, this far into the book, I have known almost exactly what was going to happen, with the exception of a few things. I'm not saying that it's predictable. I'm just saying I'm okay with her gaslighting her characters in the books. It's hilarious. It's very entertaining. I don't like to be gaslit as the reader. This book has been so much fun. I absolutely love when the math starts mathing. I wish I knew Frida in real life, because I'm wondering what goes on in her brain that she comes up with these stories. I mean, even their little fetishes are so funny to me. It's just wild. Like, it's so funny. Audacity is at an all-time high from certain characters. Complete and total oblivion and stupidity is at an all-time high for other characters. And it just makes the book so good. I am having such a good time. Guarantee, well, it depends on how this book ends, but I can guarantee I'm not going to rate this book less than 4 stars. So what I'm going to do is I am going to have dinner, because this pot roast is so good. And then I am going to wash my makeup brushes. Please let this be a reminder to you guys to wash your makeup brushes. I think I have not washed them now in like 2, almost 3 weeks. So that is self-care, darling. We cannot just be applying makeup with our dirty brushes. Hi friends, good morning. This book is so good. So I am sitting in the car because I just left therapy. Let me tell y'all, the session was lit. And this time I was so certain, like, I'm not gonna cry. Of course I cried. I'm just like, dang, I thought this was gonna be the session. She's like, it's totally fine. This is your space. This is your time to just let loose. And oh, I just love therapy. God, I love it so much. Today has been so great. I started the day with the chiropractor and then now a therapy session and a dope book. Stop playing with me. So last night I had another sleepless night with Lily. If you're not new here, you know that this is not a new thing. Last night we were up from 2 till about 5. So I was reading, and this book, oh, it has me captivated. I was talking about it even in therapy because there's one of the main characters. Her name is Ezra. We have a similarity that we both love books, and that books is a safe place for us. It is an escape for us. She's a stay-at-home mom and a wife, and she doesn't have much to look forward to. Books is what she looks forward to, and I so relate. And she's like, oh, if I didn't have books, I would be in such a dark space. And I completely agree. I adore reading. This has been such a beautiful journey for me. I've always loved reading, but I have never read to this magnitude. And the reason I've been reading to this magnitude is because this brings me peace. I love to get out of my reality, out of my life and all that is going on, and get into something else that will give me a different perspective. Let me know I'm not alone. Teach me something, make me laugh, entertain me, comfort me, whatever it is that I'm looking for at that time. Books have given me that, and I love this for me. I really do. And so I love that she loves reading just as much as me. She even likes the same books as me. She mentioned A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. She mentioned Sylvia Plath. I can't think of that book by her right now. The Bell Jar. Both of those books are actually on my TBR. I have not read them, but now that she brought them up, I am going to be reading them. I am also obsessed with Etov Rum. Anything that she writes, I will read. Although I got this from the library, I think that I want a copy for my own collection. I am almost certain this is going to be a 5-star read for me, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. We're not even supposed to be talking about that book at this time. So I did finish The Teacher. So I want to go ahead, wrap that up for you guys. I have about 75 pages left of A Woman Is No Man, and then we will get more into that book. But The Teacher was fun. It was really fun. The ending was cool. I liked it, but I also did want something just a little bit different. But overall, it was a very good read, very fast paced, very gripping. I would definitely say check the trigger warnings if you want to read this book. The book does explore a lot. There were a lot of plot twists, but a lot of them didn't get me, and I'm okay with that. I don't need all these massive plot twists. That's nice and that's fun sometimes, but for this particular book, I think it was written exactly how it needed to be written. There didn't need to be so many massive surprises. Like, the foreshadowing was there, so I kind of knew what was to come. There were two things that did kind of catch me off guard. Well, actually three. If the author is able to articulate a story well and give us some clues, and like I said, do a great job at foreshadowing, usually you can just kind of figure certain things out, or at least feel the theme and the energy of where the book is like headed. I did really like how the book explores how teenagers, okay, they just make decisions. They just make decisions. They don't always think them through. And I was just shaking my head so many times throughout the book, like, girl, these teenagers, like, go sit down somewhere. Go read a book. Get you a book and sit down somewhere. Like, you need to chill. I also really appreciate how the book explored that people do use sex to manipulate others, whether that is in a marriage or outside of marriage, just in casual situations. It just didn't feel like a lot of the other books that she's wrote, and I don't know why. It was still very fast paced. It was still very engaging, but I think it's because it had a message. Like, most of her books, you just read them and it's like, oh, okay, whatever. This one actually had a message. There was a lot that you could pull from the story. So I feel like that's why I had a different experience. Nonetheless, it is hot in this car. It is a beautiful day. I need to start driving and roll down these windows. So I think I'm gonna go to like a coffee shop or get myself some lunch and try to go ahead and finish this because, oh, we need to talk about it. We need to talk about this book. Woke up from the most amazing nap, and I absolutely love that for me. It is so hard to function on like a few hours of sleep, so gotta steal a nap whenever you can. But anyway, let's talk about A Woman Is No Man by Outtakes. It says 3 generations of Palestine American women are torn between individual desire and their strict Arab culture in this powerful debut. A heart-wrenching story of love, intrigue, courage, and betrayal that will resonate with women from all backgrounds, giving voice to the silenced and agency to the oppressed. God, this was so good. I'm pretty sure it's a 5-star. Oh. Oh, I have so many emotions. This book begs for you to tap into your emotion. This book begs for you to think. It is extremely thought-provoking. It is intended to expand your mind and pull on your heartstrings, and I just love what Outtakes has done in this book. So I do have friends that are Middle Eastern, and I love them. I actually worked with them, and we do still keep in touch to this day. I was actually invited to one of their weddings. I've been to their baby showers, and those were actually my very first experience with Middle Eastern culture, and it was such a different experience than our weddings, and it was just so much fun. I love to experience that. So some of the stuff that was addressed in the book I have already been made aware of from my friend group. Some of this stuff I haven't, so I cannot wait to tell them, like, yo, have you got up in the Outtakes rum book yet? Because if not, you need to read this and we need to discuss at our next meetup. There is such a heavy emphasis for Middle Eastern women to get married, to start a family, and then there's even more emphasis for them to have a son, which is outrageous to me. We don't have any control over the gender that we have. It's just so sad how much pressure is placed upon them to have a son, and it's even more sad the pressure that is put on the eldest son in the family. It's just, listen, I'm just saying, if you've ever wondered what goes on in other cultures outside of your own, read books. Read books. People are being vulnerable enough to share their story or something similar or things that they've seen or experienced. And I'm just thankful. I am so thankful for this author. She is actually Middle Eastern, so it's so authentic. They're using words like Habibti and Habibi and Teta, and the list goes on. I just love it. I am not going to lie. Her books are not for everyone. They do have a slight repetitive inventiveness to them. They are slightly mundane. They are heavily loaded with realism and real life concepts. Her books were literally written to make you think, which is fine by me because those are books that I like to read. What page was that? Okay, let me see. I had to check my notes here. Ezra says, I'd rather read a book that teaches me something, a story that is more realistic. I love it. I'm like, that is so me. She goes on to say, ever since I started reading again, I feel like I'm in a trance, or maybe like I've come out of one. Something has come over me. I don't know how to describe it. It might sound dramatic, but I feel hopeful for the first time in years. I don't know why exactly, but I have you to thank for it. The power of books, the power of friendship, the power of seeing other women be strong and go against the grain. That is what I love to see here. Let me go ahead and share the different perspectives. The first one is Ezra. Ezra is our main character. She has just been married off and she is moving to America to have what she assumes is going to be something different. She's hopeful to come here to America and have a different life than the one that her mother had. She wants to be happy and have a loving partner and, you know, maybe eventually go to college and things like that, because I guess over there it's not a big deal for women to be educated. It's actually preferred if they aren't. And again, this is more older times than newer times. I don't know how much has changed, but it's horrible. The reason they prefer that they aren't educated is so that they can feel worthless. So that way you can't leave. You don't have any money, you don't have any education, you don't have any power. And so it is easy for them to be abused and manipulated. And talk about crying. I was crying and everything. Okay, so back to it. And then you have Dea. Dea is the daughter of Ezra and Adam. And now there's pressure being placed on her to get married. They start finding suitors for their daughters as early as like 12, 13 years old. When Ezra came over here to America, she lived with Frida, which is the other POV, which is Adam's mother. So you have Frida, the mother-in-law, Ezra, our main character, she's the daughter-in-law, and then you have Dea. And within their POVs, we get some of the other POVs from other people as well. But it's very easy to follow. Believe me, I am not a fan of books with a ton of characters in them. And that is as much as I want to share at this time. I feel like that is more than enough for you to have an idea if this would be a book that you would like to read or not. I cannot wait to buy this book and have it on my shelf because I feel like I would read it again. I would totally read it again because there were just moments and things where I was like, oh, I need to write in the margin. I need to highlight. I need to underline. And clearly this is a library copy, so I was unable to do that. But this, wow, Etoff. Oh my God, this was really, really good. Gonna go ahead and move on to our next read, which is The Overnight Guest. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and maybe do like the prologue, maybe chapter 1. I still have some time before getting the kiddos. And then I probably won't get to this until tonight or tomorrow. We'll see. Friends, how are you today? I hope that everybody is doing well. Today is Tuesday, March the 5th, and I am about 92 pages into The Overnight Guest by Heather Guttenkoff. The book just got extremely good. I'm talking real intense. At first, I was really confused. This is actually my introduction to this author. It's basically taking place in 2 different timelines, and then there's also like a background story. There's chapters that are taking place in the year of 2000, and then there's the present day, which follows our main character, Wiley. And she is actually a true crime writer. So she is at this farmhouse, or yes, it's a farmhouse, and she is there to write a book. And one day she lets her dog go out to obviously get some air, use the bathroom, and the dog ends up leading her to a young boy that is out in the snow. So she gathers up the kids, she brings them inside. He will not talk to her. He won't say who he is, how he got here, or anything. So she's just doing her best to try and uncover who this boy is and why he was left out in the the cold. There's a lot of creepy things that are occurring while she's there trying to finish her book. So that is what this one is about. It is really good so far. And then, like I said, there's like a background story. So we have like chapters that are, we don't know who they're from. There are no character names. The characters are just referred to as she or him or daughter. So they're just using pronouns and nobody's name is being used. So I am very interested to see how all of these stories are going to be intertwined and how they all link together. I'm loving all the mystery and intense that this book is giving me. But baby, like I said, it's Tuesday. It's the release of the new Kennedy Ryan book. And this was my most anticipated release book for the year. So because boundaries are important, and sometimes I get in the bookstore and I just stay there way too long. I need to prioritize my time today. I do have a lot of other things to do. I don't want to get in there, get distracted, and even just buy more books. So I went ahead and I did order pickup. So they have not sent me my email yet. It's only 9:02, so they actually just opened. Hopefully they will be sending me my email that my book is ready and we will be running, okay, running to pick up the new Kennedy Ryan book. And it's perfect timing because my friend and I, we're only supposed to get to page 100 by Thursday when I'm supposed to meet up with her for brunch, and we're just gonna have brunch and talk about books. Brunch and books, love that. Probably call, check in with her and see where she is at in the book. But anyway, I did want to share some of my other anticipated release books for the month of March. The other one is Annibot, and it's by Sierra Greer. I am wildly interested to read this book. The other book for March is The Divorcee. This one I think is going to be really good. I really do. Oh my gosh. So it's an author's note at the beginning of the book, and it says, there are parts of this story I've been writing for the last 20 years. More accurately, there are aspects of This Could Be Us I've been living with for the last 20 years, since the day my son was diagnosed with autism. Oh my God, listen. Didn't even know she had a son that was on the spectrum. I'm going to cut up. I'm forewarning you, I am going to cut up. He doesn't talk much, but he speaks. Period. Look at me. Girl, in the author's note, we already highlighting. I just already know it's about to be a good time. Oh, I'm already about to cry. Oh God, hi Lovey. Yeah. Would you like to say hi to the vlog, Lily? Taco Tuesday! It's so good!
Here you are, husband.
Oh, thanks. Not me sobbing after reading the prologue, and I mean sobbing. Husband was in the bed with me and he's like, are you okay? Do you need me to get you some tissue? I was like, it's okay, it's okay. I feel so seen. This book gets me. I'm like, I cannot believe this. I have never been so exposed. I have never been so seen while reading a book. I'm not even done. I'm on page 64. So I did read about 45 pages last night, and then I got up, took a bath this morning because I'm having a day. I'm having a day. We're not even gonna discuss it, but just know that I am having a day. And so just to push through, I was like, let me prioritize self-care. I took a little bath, and of course, I went ahead and read some of this book. And it's so cute because she's like me, she being Soledad. She says, I've always found books a solace. With each child, each new responsibility, each new level of adulting, my reading seems to have suffered a little more. I overstand. When I say I feel entirely seen, I feel entirely seen. Kennedy Ryan, you get me. The blurb right here from S.A. Cosby. Kennedy Ryan knows the secret corridors of the human heart better than nearly any other writer working today. I couldn't agree more. Listen, I'm not even done and I highly recommend the book. I'm not even 100 pages in. I highly recommend the book. I'm eating it up. I'm loving it. So I went into this book completely blind. I didn't watch any reviews. I didn't watch any reels. I didn't read anything. Nothing. I just knew that she was coming out with a new book and I knew that I was going to buy it. I didn't even read the back of the book. I did just read the back of the book so that I could give you guys a synopsis without spoiling anything. So basically we have two main characters. We have Soledad and we have Judah. Judah is a divorced father of 2, and then Soledad is married and she is the mother of 3 daughters. She's been married for a long time and she is struggling because she's like, I don't know this man that I married anymore. We are not in the greatest space and it's just a lot going on. It's a lot of drama. While all of this drama is going on, she's still just trying to protect her children and show up for them. Again, I feel so seen. There's this part here and it says, you're telling them things will work out and you have no idea how, but you'll do everything in your power to make sure they'll be taken care of. It's called parenting. Stop playing with me, Kennedy. Oh my God. And obviously you guys know that there is going to be autism representation, which is why I was cutting up in the author's note. I didn't even know that Kennedy Ryan was an autism mom. I knew she was my girl. I knew it. I knew she was my girl for a reason. And the autism representation is on point, okay? And I know that she said she was nervous about that, to have a character that does have autism in her books, because she just didn't want to, you know, represent the community in a way. Completely understand it. We're always like tiptoeing around like, what should I say? What should I do? I just love how vulnerable she was in the author's note. I think that's why it touched me, and it's going to touch a lot of people. I just love the representation so far. It's so accurate. I'm only 64 pages in and it's already so good. Obviously, husband and I are not divorced, so those moments, although they do not replicate my life, I feel seen because the divorce rate is very high for children with special needs. And I would be lying if I sat here and said there haven't been times where I have just wanted to give up. I'm like, you know what, husband, I'm sorry, but I'm probably gonna have to leave you just so that I can have like weekends or just days to myself. Which is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. But this journey, you don't understand special needs parenting until you are on the journey. You don't understand the life of people that are parenting a disability until you do it yourself, or until you've lived in the household with it by way of a sibling. And even then, it's a different experience. I get it. It's just like you already have to show up for yourself. You have to show up for work. You have to show up for all these other things. You have to show up for the children. You have no choice but to show up for the children. And then it's almost like the spouse becomes optional, which is terrible. And so that is why I think the rates are higher. Whew. I think this is about to be a very, very good book. On another note, The Overnight Guest has been a grand time. I've never even heard anybody talk about this book. I am currently 256 pages in. There were just some massive revelations that occurred during the midst of the, what is it called? The investigation. I don't know why that was leaving me. It's very eerie. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. There were moments where I was unable to read because I was a little scared. I'm like, oh, this is very descriptive. I can feel the atmosphere. I can hear the sound effects. I can picture these scenes. It's so good. It's almost like watching a Dateline episode. It's not your typical popcorn, fast-paced thriller. The Past Day is what feels like just a true crime show, Dateline, or something like that. Newer chapters definitely feel more like a fast-paced, scary type of like popcorn thriller. But this is good. I didn't know that I was into like true crime vibes. I'm feeling it. I really want her to catch up because I need to talk to her about these revelations. I'm so excited. Reading break. Oh my God. Today is Wednesday. I almost forgot. Today we get to find out who said yes on Love is Blind. Stop playing with me. So let's get into my prediction. Mikey is my Love is Blind partner. It's because of him that I watched this outlandish show. Although this was my least favorite season, my favorite castmate of all times, Jessica, was on this one. I love her. So quick prediction. Clay and AD.
It's a no.
I think it should be a no, mister. I think cheating is hereditary. What's the next one? Amy and
Johnny.
Yes.
That's a yes.
It's a yes. I forgot the other couple.
Jimmy.
Oh, Lord. Oh my God, do you love me? Do you love me?
Yes.
Do you love me? I love you. I don't know why, but I think they're going to say yes. And I think that's a bad... Yes, that's a really bad decision for Jimmy, but he sees what he's getting. His hands are going to be extremely full with someone that is that insecure. Oh, look at her. She about to cut up already, y'all. So let's see how our predictions work out. Mikey is so happy, okay? I truly believe that AD is going to say yes. I think Clay's going to say no. He's just not ready. But what do you think?
I think they're saying, I don't know about this Clay guy.
Yeah, he's kind of a red flag.
Yeah.
But they would have been so good together, so... Oh, let's see. Hi, friend. Hi, girl. We're literally getting ready to... Well, first of all, she gave me this bag. How did you like it?
Loved it. Loved it.
After you finished it
After I
100 days
finished it.
later?
First, I was giving 3. Now I might give like a 4-star. It was
Okay,
good.
exactly. Fair. But we are here to discuss the overnight guest.
Something is going on with him.
Yeah, I hope he's the one to get this.
Yeah.
I do feel a way about him, so there hasn't been a revelation about him yet. I don't think he did it,
Yeah.
but he did have a vibe.
Maybe he knows Lord. Why was he even headed to the house in the first place?
That's what I was thinking. I don't have a
Because now that I think about it, she was walking down the street.
and he just found her.
Yeah.
That was my thing. That's what
Why
made
was you
him
headed
creepy.
to? Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what the cop was like. Why was you in a hurry? Why was you
Yeah.
coming from that direction? Why
Yeah,
was
she
you in a
said she
rush?
saw him earlier.
Yeah, like
And
you
she
doing too
mentioned
much.
it, so it must be the girl.
Yeah.
That was the first. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Well, her 4th story hasn't really unraveled for me yet.
When the book opens, because I fell in love with the first chapter. When the book opens, Judah and Tremaine are meeting with a social worker to determine living arrangements for their boys as part of a collaborative divorce. What were your initial impressions of them as a couple and as parents?
It's like it wasn't nothing bad.
Yeah,
It was just, you just go apart.
yeah, I just don't want to do this no more.
It does speak to the statistic that, you know, when you have
Higher rates.
special
That's what I was
needs,
saying
yeah.
in my update. I was
You
like,
can see Vaughn had posted that recently too. Like, she didn't know it was like almost 80-something%. I
and it's
think.
going up. It was like 72. I can see it, and that's what I was saying. You just get tired. You have to show up as yourself, as a friend. If you got a job, then your spouse starts to feel optional. It's like, I don't have anything left to give you, so you become optional. So you gotta go.
And that was a revelation for me because I've never said it or thought it, but I feel like the reason why I was just able to just be so done, like I can't get rid of anything.
Yeah, and
I can get rid of
it's
you.
not an
You know what I
option.
mean?
I have to take care of this
take
child.
care of her for as long as she's gonna be here. And with
But I
you,
gotta get rid of you.
it's like I was so burnt out. I'm carrying the bills. I'm carrying this family. I'm
Too much.
carrying, you know, my special needs daughter appointments and the demands of my job and stuff. Everything
I need
else
you to
is
show up.
not-
I
yeah.
can't.
Everything else is not optional. Like I need to work. I need to take care of my baby.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was like.
I can't do you
still
too.
living in my like freedom bag because it's
Not
like
the freedom bag.
Man, 'cause it's like after being so tightly hinged to somebody for so long.
He said I should be more disappointed that my marriage is over, but instead there is a sense of relief that overwhelms me.
Yep.
Listen.
And they speak about it more too. I don't say too much.
Finally finished The Overnight Guest by Heather Goodenkoff, and my friend did give me the okay to just go ahead and finish it because I think I only had about maybe 50 or 60 pages left. So she was like, go ahead, finish it. I'm not going to be that far behind you. So I was like, okay, great. Thanks, friend, because I did want to at least go ahead and finish either this book or this could be us in this particular video. And I was so glad that it happened to be this book because although it was tricky at first, it was a little tricky to like navigate in the very beginning, but then you catch on rather quickly and it was such an enjoyable enjoyable ride. I feel like anybody who's ever wanted to attempt or try horror or just something a little further up than like a popcorn thriller, this would be a very good book to try. This book has very impressive writing, impressive pacing, and impressive characterization. It's very much a high tension mystery. It's almost as if you're watching a scary movie. I don't like scary movies. I do not watch them. And so I was a little caught off guard. I didn't know this book was going to be as atmospheric and as descriptive as it was. It was very chilling, a little eerie, a little scary at times, but it was still really good. I actually ended up giving it a 4, and as time goes on, it could even be a 4.5. I'm not sure, but I would have given it a 5, but I felt like the end was a little stretched out. Not the whole end, but just like a few chapters there. I'm like, okay, we could have wrapped this up. I also felt like there was one scene where, you know, it's like, just finish them. There's a little too much talking going on here. Let's just go ahead and finish the individual. So that was a little bit annoying, but I also feel that way in like when I'm watching TV. I'm like, just hurry up, get out of there. I'm definitely one of those people. Like when they're watching like, you know, a suspense type movie, I'm like, just finish them, because you know if you don't, obviously they're gonna get up and come after you again, like duh. But it was very true to, like I said, watching like an actual TV show, which I absolutely love. And I also felt like there were some unanswered motives around the murders and also even like the captivity situation. So that was the only reason I couldn't quite give it a 5-star. But other than that, if somebody else were to rate it 5 stars, I would totally understand. I wouldn't argue them on that. But for me, I had to go ahead and give it a 4-star. And I will read another book by Miss Heather Guttenkoff. There's actually a prologue in here for the next book and chapter 1. It is her book titled Not a Sound. Normally, I don't ever read those like bonus chapters. I'm just like, oh, when I'm done with the book, I'm just done with it. But I am very interested to see if I could handle another book by her. Like if it was any more graphic, I probably wouldn't read any more books by her. But like I said, it was just enough. This isn't one of those books where it's like filled with all these plot twists and things like that. Although you do get some of that, because what is a mystery without that? But it's mainly like great foreshadowing, impeccable pacing, excellent context clues. So it's not intended for you to be like blown away. Although there were some things and I was like, oh my gosh. But for the most part, you have like a list of suspects, and it's not written like other books where you're like, oh, it could be this person, that person. No, it's not like that. You have a list of suspects. Then the book slowly, you know, goes through the journey and we start to knock suspects off the list. And like I said, there's another POV. There's like a girl and a mom and a dad, and we don't really know who they are. Even once we discover their name, it takes a long time in the book before you do, but because of exceptional context clues, you can kind of like figure it out, or it's either like one of two people. So I did have a very good time. And unfortunately, we will not be able to finish This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. And I'm actually okay with that. I'm almost 150 pages in. And if I'm being honest, there's not a lot that I want to discuss because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. I do really appreciate the emphasis on how Soledad did have aspirations to be a stay-at-home mom. I was a stay-at-home mom for years, and currently I am still in that role. I am not working at this time. And it's so funny because unlike her, I didn't aspire to be a stay-at-home mom. I actually aspired to work outside of the home. It wasn't until I started having children and I was like, okay, this is a lot. I have to go to work, come home, and still do this. So then I was like, you know what? I do have aspirations to just take care of my family. At least at this point in the book, it's being highlighted that that is enough for some women. Some women do want that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is indeed a job. She even says here, like, there's not even enough hours in the day for what I do. When you are home with these kids, whew, and you are someone's wife, you are round the clock. And so I get it. I really appreciate how that was highlighted in the book. There's just so many good things. The autism representation is still wildly on point, even down to the meltdowns. I completely get it. I'm just loving it. To me, this is like my TV show right now. So I am reading it a little bit slower. Plus, we had to read 3 other books. And I do want to point out The Teacher by Frida, the subject matter is intense. It's very intense. And like I said, it's very different. I still don't know why she chose to write a book like that, but that's why I'm like, there's a message behind it. I do think that young adults can read that book and they should be able to gain some knowledge, especially teenagers. But the subject matter is very heavy. It's very disturbing. And so a lot of people will not like that book. That book will not work for a lot of people. I am the type of reader, I do read to learn and to be entertained. So don't get it twisted. I felt like it was a good mix. It was very entertaining because it's a lot of other stuff going on that isn't as serious, but the subject matter was very heavy. I am not going to lie, especially especially because I'm the mother of a daughter. So it was very disturbing. I just appreciated seeing Frida try something different and execute it well enough. There is a message that people can take away, you know, whether that's be careful who you're trusting, how it is easy for people to be manipulated and groomed, and the list goes on. I can't say a lot about it because I don't want to spoil that book for you guys either. This was such an epic reading vlog. I have had an entire blast. I really have. You will not have to wait long for me to wrap this up. I do plan to do a Q1 wrap up, so expect that to go live in early April. And other than that, I hope that you guys had fun spending the week with me. Do not forget to prioritize self-care. I am not just saying that. Literally prioritize it. Do something for yourself this week, please and thank you. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. I actually need to go and wash my hair. There's no need to, like, you know, let you guys see all that. I'm still thinking about this book. 64 pages in, not even one thing that I want to change about this book so far. The cover of this book, it's nothing exciting, right? I'm so invested to know what happened. If you are only going to read one book for the month, this could be it. We were kind of just navigating how I felt helpless quite a bit as a child. It allows you to have such visceral feelings, whether you've been through abusive situations or not. It's just like, oh my God. And now in my adulthood, I'm like, that's how you know it's a 5-star. I am so quick to leave. I'm not even gonna lie. I've literally cried at least 4 times today.
I want them to see my elbow.
Because if I see a way out, baby, I'm taking it.
When's the third actor in this vlog?
They're just always masking and holding it in.
Okay, it's hanging out.
And don't think it always has something to do with Lily. There's lots of other things going on in my life.
Look, you have to feel it so hard.
Adulting is extremely hard.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to good.
I'm still showing up. I'm still pushing through. And I just wanted to share that. There are moments where it does feel like a debut novel, not gonna lie. A whole lot of transparency and vulnerability because I know someone watching needed to hear that. And so, yeah.